Farm Basics is brought to you by the Liberty Link trait and Liberty herbicide from Bayer. The most reliable weed management solution, Liberty Link and Liberty herbicide are the link to efficient row crop production and sustainable weed management.
When do farmers stop planting their crops?
Well, when they get tired of planting, right?
During our Farm Basics time today, we wanted to discuss this just a little bit because if you're a non-farmer, you may be wondering, how does a farmer decide when to start planting and when to stop planting? I mean, obviously we're getting towards the end of the spring planting season now. So let's talk about exactly what we're looking at on our own farm, for example, so we know when to quit.
All right, well, one thing I think about is, well, when do farmers begin? Well, they typically begin by looking at the calendar and saying, well, now it's mid-April, it's time to plant corn, and historically that's when we've done things. The other thing they look at is crop insurance. Well, here's the first date where crop insurance will actually insure a crop. If we plant earlier than that, there's too much risk.
Yeah, but now, Darren, let's be honest here. I mean, most farmers start based on one very important thing: when the neighbor starts. Okay?
Oh boy. Well, you could say that, Brian, but when I look at when farmers wrap up planting, it's exactly the same thing as when farmers start. Farmers wrap it up by the historical date that, if you don't have your soybeans in by the 4th of July in our part of the world, well, historically, nobody's ever gotten a decent crop of soybeans if they planted later than that.
Or let's move that up a little further. In our area, if we don't have our soybeans planted by around the 20th of May, we know that we're probably not going to maximize yield anymore.
Well, once you get towards that drop dead date where your yield is going to start going down after that point, farmers are just going to do the only thing they can do: start working 24/7.
Yep. Now, the other thing that the farmer will start taking a look at is, when is the last crop insurance date for full insurance? So in our area, that might be the 20th of June, or that might be the 5th of June, whatever it would happen to be. And then for sure, you want to try to get your crop in by then.
Well, you think of two things. Well, will the crop make it before your first frost date?
Yep.
That's one thing to consider. The other thing is, economically, how much risk are farmers going to have to take? You think about it. Farmers have to put all that seed out, all the plant food or fertilizer out, all the crop protection products to keep the weeds, diseases, and insects from destroying their crop. They spend all this money out front with a hope that at the end of the thing, when they get to fall, there will be a crop there that'll cover all their bills and hopefully make them a little money for the year. Once it gets to the farmers taking all that risk, there's no insurance anymore, and the odds that you're going to get a full crop are pretty slim. Guys just kind of pack it up at a certain point, and maybe they switch to a different crop. Maybe they say, you know what, I can't plant soybeans anymore, but here's a real short season crop that I could plant and make a little bit of money this year. That's about all they can do at that point.
And the reason why we're bringing this up today is because a lot of times there are late season events like hail, especially in our area. Hail comes in, it can take the crop out, and then as the farmer, you talk to the insurance agent, and the insurance agent says, well, if you want to replant this crop, we'll give you X amount of dollars. If you just want to let it go for the rest of the year, you don't have any crop growing out there, you have this number of dollars, and then the farmer just weighs that out. So it really comes down to, in a nutshell here, does the farmer realistically think he can still raise a good crop that late in the season? And the other side is, what's he get paid from the insurance company?
So depending on where you farm, that date at the end of the year where you say, you know what, my crop's just not going to make it, I'm not going to plant anymore, it varies a little bit. But for every farmer, they know what that date is for the crops they're planting.
Well, the other thing that hopefully most farmers know is how to control our Weed of the Week. We'll talk about it coming up later in the show.